Hello.
Welcome back.
This is mainly food focused. We're back with another episode.
I'm Matt.
This time we have a guest. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Matt.
That's Matt.
Yep.
And today we have Anna.
Hi.
Welcome, Anna. She is a previous employee / friend of mine. And today she's going to talk about a couple different things with us.
Why don't you let her tell?
Go ahead.
Go, Anna.
Well, apparently we're going to talk about canning and gardening and sourdough bread and my experience working for the Trisky family.
Okay. Some might call that homesteading.
Not
Working
working
for
for
the
the
Trisky
Triskies.
All of that.
I don't think working at
All
a
of
coffee
it.
shop counts as homesteading.
No.
I was thinking more along the lines of canning and gardening.
Sure.
And chopping wood.
Chickens, homemade sourdough.
Yep.
All of the above.
Sure.
Yes. So you worked for us when we first opened the coffee shop, and that was fun.
Yeah. How long had you guys been open when I started working for you? Like the coffee shop?
Not long.
Didn't she?
I started working there May of 23.
Yeah. So like 2 months. We were open 2 months.
We were like, we need somebody
Really?
else.
Mhm.
Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was that soon after you guys opened.
Very. Yeah. That was the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very.
Yeah. It would have been
We
May of
needed
23.
somebody else to be a barista.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good time.
And so your dad, Bill,
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, my daughter, she's interested in coffee, and she's looking for like a part-time job."
Mhm.
And yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about working at the coffee shop?
Our regulars.
Yeah.
I mean, drinking a lot of coffee was great. I had to really use self-control so that I stayed hydrated.
I know you would bring in like 3 different water bottles.
Yeah, I do that if I'm going to be gone for more than 6 hours.
When you're thirsty, you just drink more coffee.
Yeah,
That's what I
my
do.
favorite part was our regulars for sure.
Yeah, we have a lot of great regulars.
Mhm.
So
What do you got to say?
I was waiting for you to say something.
When I try to say something, you talk over me like normal.
Oops. So yeah, you do a lot of cool things. You
I
do.
But
I
we
do
won't
a
call
lot
it
of things.
homesteading at all.
I think it's still it's considered homesteading.
It's
But-
homesteading light.
Yeah, I just am not working to be self-sufficient, and so I feel like that's more what makes it like that is not being at my home doing all of these things is not my full-time job, and so I don't feel like it counts as homesteading. Our goal is not to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
These are just things that I enjoy and spend a lot of time doing.
Such as, like, what's your most favorite non-homesteading thing that you like to do?
Non-homesteading thing?
Yeah, you don't call it homesteading, but it's kind of
The
like that.
not homesteading.
My favorite one. It depends on the time of the year. Like right now, I like to watch Gilmore Girls and crack pecans because we have pecan trees.
Oh.
Okay.
And so I sit in the floor and shell pecans and watch Gilmore Girls. And I like to chop wood because it's really good exercise and
Yes.
it's very rewarding. We have a little wood stove in our basement and I enjoy chopping wood.
Yeah, you do have a cute little wood stove.
Yeah.
You just got that recently.
In
Well-
November, I think.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
before the winter.
Mm-hmm.
You save a lot on heating.
It helps offset our energy cost. Yeah.
The thing that's the best about it is that it's not necessarily that you save that much. It's that you can have it as hot as you want without having to pay a lot of extra. Usually you have a heat bill. You're like, oh, I gotta keep it at like 65.
Right,
like
so the
you, right?
system's not working as
Right,
oh,
yeah,
six-
save a little bit. But like
yeah.
when you have a wood burning stove, it's like 82 or something in there, and you're like, yeah, this is great.
Couldn't it cost the same?
Right.
But the machine or the like stove itself is kind of pricey, right? It's like it's an investment.
Yeah,
Right,
ours
yeah.
was. We also got one that it's supposed to be really efficient. It has a catalytic converter in it, so it reburns the smoke.
Oh,
And it,
very environmentally friendly.
well, and it's a smaller wood stove. And so when you're wanting it to burn a long time and really use that heat well, it makes sense for it to
Recycle
be
through.
efficient. Yeah.
Right. I love efficiency.
Yeah.
That's why I built my own smoker.
Yes.
Insulated. I love it.
I did not know that about you until I listened to the first episode, which is crazy because I had worked with you for like a while.
You didn't know that I built the smokers?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I remember like when you were doing that. You did it in our garage mostly.
In the garage in a development.
Yes.
Buzzing, welding.
The welding, yeah. I remember that.
With orange Crocs on.
The orange Crocs. Do you still have
May
those?
they rest in peace.
Or are they gone?
Oh, are they gone?
Only like this year. Well,
Yeah.
no, in 2024 at some point
You switched over to those black ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still had the orange ones for a while, but they got so slippery. I kept slipping.
Yeah.
It's a hazard.
I know.
It's hazardous. Cool. So I would say if you are using a wood burning stove in your house, your house is considered a homestead.
Yes.
Well, and the reason some people say that is because I live in a very rural area. It is very rustic looking.
You have the cutest little country home.
Well, thank you. You and Jess have said that it's like going to grandma's house.
It's the best. It's so good.
Okay.
I wish that it wasn't an hour away from me.
Me too.
I would be over way more. Yes. So the perks of going to Anna's house is that you get fresh sourdough bread. She'll
Love it.
make you focaccia for your birthday. She will crack open a can of fresh salsa. She'll send you home with sweet potatoes.
You do fresh salsa?
Well, I canned it this summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is it restaurant style or not?
No, it's chunky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's chunky.
Okay.
And I kind of wing what I put.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the year.
What you have from your garden.
Yeah, and like the salsa that you guys have had most recently at my house, which I know it's been a while, but the batch was extra super spicy, and so I just kept having to add things that were
To
Cut it.
counteract.
yeah. So I had
Cut it.
to add like a bunch of bell peppers and corn to cut.
Oh yeah, there was corn in there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I wouldn't
corn
normally
salsa.
do that, but the sweetness of the corn helped cut the
Offset the
spice.
spice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was very spicy.
Nice.
And that's from the jalapenos or the cayennes?
I think I had put cayenne peppers in there,
Yeah.
and I just overdid it.
Speaking of all of that, tell us about what you brought. One of the things that you brought today.
Yeah, so the cowboy candy is like a pickled, I guess it's considered a pickle. It is a candied pepper situation. And so it's a
Situation.
Yeah.
simple syrup that you make with apple cider vinegar and garlic and sugar. And then you kind of simmer the peppers in it a little bit, and then you spoon them out into jars, and you reduce the simple syrup and pour that over the peppers, and then you can it. And so it's like a sweet, savory, spicy thing.
It is actually quite similar to a relish, I would say. It's just
I would say it's a relish as well.
yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I want to put it on some cream cheese.
And
Maybe,
put it in the oven?
Yeah, maybe warm it up just a little bit
Oh,
and then
yeah.
take some tortilla chips and dip it in there. That would be super tasty.
Yeah.
Not like with brie.
Ooh,
Put
man, we
that
just
thing on
love to
top.
talk about the brie, don't
I
we?
know. The brie is good.
All right, well, pass it on. I want to eat it.
It's also on you made this bread as
Homemade
well, correct?
sourdough.
All right, sourdough. I did have some questions about that. Oh, we got a little bit of some juice on the notes.
Good.
So the bread recipe that I use is Farmhouse on Boone is a blogger, and I use a lot of her sourdough recipes.
Okay.
And so this is adapted from her sourdough sandwich bread recipe. So it's got a little bit of a smaller crumb. It's more dense than maybe some of the artisan loaves that get
It's definitely
posted on the
dense.
internet. Yeah.
I have nothing to wash it down with.
Good. Don't be a baby.
I'm
Want a piece
trying.
of cheese?
Yeah, cheese would be good.
Here's a cheese.
Show the cheese. Do you make anything else that's like cowboy candy, or is that like the only of its kind?
I mean, I did some other pickled peppers, but they were like vinegar.
You know who else does that?
Peter Piper.
Peter Piper.
They were vinegar based. So I actually shared them with you guys, the pickled banana peppers. I did those and pickled pepperoncinis.
That's right.
And
those
then
are so good.
And then we did some at the store. We used your recipe.
And my banana peppers.
And her banana peppers.
And your banana peppers. Yes, we made a lot of them. I want that. When can we do that again?
Have some.
You still have banana peppers?
No, we still have some pickled banana peppers in the fridge.
That was a lot of banana peppers. That we made some money off that. You probably need to get a commission.
Well, the pepper crop last year was wild. The peppers like it really hot. They like hot weather, and it was very warm. And I also planted a lot of freaking pepper plants. So
this is so good.
I'm glad you like it.
What in this cowboy candy? You said it has cayennes and.
Yes. So typically people make this recipe with jalapenos, but my jalapeno plants, that was the only pepper that did not do super well at my house this past year. So I had a lot of poblanos and cayenne peppers, and my poblanos actually accidentally cross-pollinated with my cayenne peppers, and so they were also spicy. I think poblanos
typically a mild one, right?
That was my understanding. That was not my experience. So yeah, that's poblanos and cayenne.
The dense sourdough with the pickled. It's a relish. This is a relish.
Okay.
You put it on a hot dog.
Oh my word!
With some cheese, a cheese dog.
I like it with my eggs in the morning.
Oh
my
good
goodness!
Idea.
Yeah,
I love that. Write down all these recipes. Do I finish this? I want to finish it. I don't want to stop.
It was good.
You need a water?
Maybe.
Love it. The loud water bottles. So that was delicious.
I'm glad you liked it.
I want. Is there something we could do at the store? Could we do like a brie, put that on top, package it, and then people put it in the oven, and then it gets a little melty?
Yeah.
I don't think you could just do cream cheese. That might be that wouldn't be bougie enough.
Too basic?
Yeah. But I would eat it. I wouldn't buy it, but I'd eat it. Someone else might buy it.
Do you think you guys could make like my friend Rachel used the cowboy candy and made a cheese ball. Do you think you guys could do like a cheese spread to sell?
Yes. A cheese spread. Yes. It's
With the
basically
cowboy
taking both of our ideas and putting it together.
Or like a pimento cheese with that in it?
With some mixing. There'll be some mixing going on when we put those together.
Yeah, I would hope you would mix them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like cheese balls.
Yeah, you do.
That's a good idea.
Excellent idea, Anna.
Yeah, Rachel said it was real popular at the Super Bowl party she went to.
Oh, so it was recent too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And the sourdough, you make sourdough a lot. One time you made a chocolate sourdough. Have you made that again? Or do you do any other inclusions?
Do.
I have done the chocolate one a couple times. Some of them have not been as successful as others. I've done like cinnamon sugar sourdough where I like stretch the sourdough dough out and then layer it with cinnamon and sugar and roll it up into a loaf.
Uh-huh. So it's like swirled.
Mm-hmm. I've done that.
Huge cinnamon roll.
I did a like herbs and garlic one.
Yeah.
That one was good. And I did one with pepper jack cheese and like store-bought pickled jalapenos that I diced up. And I did the same, like you stretch the dough out and you layer the ingredients on and you kind of like tuck the ends in and roll it so everything stays inside.
Yes. You're a savory gal.
I am a sweet and savory gal. Yeah.
I'm noticing you definitely like savory items, spicy and savory.
Yeah.
Do you make anything with the discard?
I don't have a lot of discard because of the way that I do my whole sourdough process. I keep my starter in the fridge. And that means that the fermentation, like the bacteria consuming the ingredients in the flour, is not happening as quickly. And so I don't have to feed it every day. And when you feed your starter every day, the discard is when the starter is in a dormant stage and you have to pour some off to make room in your container
For food.
to feed it.
For food,
Yes.
Right. I was going to ask.
Or
what
else
the
you're just
discard was.
multiplying, and you just have this.
Yes.
Your house is filled
It's a blob. It ends up being the blob.
Yeah, it's like flubber.
Yes. So I don't really have discard. I do. There's
Flubber? Flubber bubber.
I make the same person, Farmhouse on Boone. I make her crackers, and that uses sourdough discard. So I have to kind of think ahead to make the discard.
You have
need
to
to
remember
schedule to
these
have
things.
enough. Have enough discard on hand.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's cowboy candy juice
Everywhere?
all over the notebook. Just so you know.
Yeah, you can lick it
we
later.
have
It's a scratch
Well,
and
it's way
sniff.
down. There's many pages down. Hopefully this dries. But I think what we should do is, I think we should shout out that person that you just mentioned.
Farmhouse on Boone.
Right. Yeah. Like I think in the description maybe we can put
Yeah.
their thing. That would be nice. People might be interested in knowing some of the other things.
Doing the recipe and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I've made her bagel recipe. I've done her sourdough pitas. I've done her sourdough soft pretzels. I regularly make her sandwich bread, and I did her chocolate sourdough recipe.
Yeah.
And that has all turned out really well. So I think her recipes are great.
Well, what about you? What do you have? Have you created any recipes?
With the sourdough?
Anything? Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you get a lot of inspiration from this person. Is there anything that you've created on your own? Sourdough, homesteading, any of that?
Well, I feel like Caitlin and I have talked about this a couple of times. I tend to wing things when it comes to cooking and baking. And so I feel like I have put my spin on several recipes,
Okay.
and I'm thankful they turn out well.
Okay. No, that's what counts is if you like them.
But I don't have a ton of, I don't typically,
Personal recipes.
yeah, because I don't stop and write down what I'm doing, which makes it hard to duplicate. I'm trying
Right.
to get better at that,
Same.
of stopping and writing down what I'm doing so that I can repeat it, especially if we like a recipe. If we don't like it, it doesn't matter. I can forget it. But
Yeah.
Right. That
yeah.
makes sense. You got to take notes.
yeah.
Wait, that's like one of the number one things we say at work. Did you
Right.
take notes? Did you save any notes? Did you write down any notes?
Right. Did
Nope.
you write that down?
Nope. Did not.
I remember everything though.
Oh, yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
I try. Does
Yeah.
that count?
Mm,
Not really.
Effort. Sure.
Not
Yeah.
really. We want results.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't want do or do not.
Yes.
There is no try.
There is. Yes. Agreed. Thank you, Yoda.
Master Yoda.
Thank you, Yoda.
I feel like the closest thing I've done to like creating my own sourdough recipe is when I make cinnamon rolls with the sourdough. Because I haven't followed a recipe for that. I just know how the process of cinnamon rolls works, and I use this same sandwich bread recipe for my cinnamon roll dough. I just add more sugar to it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Does it come out as dense as that?
No.
They come out fluffy.
They come
How?
out great. It happens.
But how?
How come brain needs info?
I was going to ask because I don't really know. So I did say something before we started recording, but like I was wondering. So there's sourdough. You don't use yeast for the leavening.
Well, so you kind of have to define what sourdough is. So the term sourdough is mostly used to talk about traditional sourdough, which means you are using a sourdough starter, which is a living culture that you have to feed and keep alive
Right.
to leaven your bread. And when you are
Okay.
using that culture, you do not have a yeast product that is like your yeast or leavening product, but you can make sourdough with a yeast bread recipe. You just have to let the bread ferment. And
Oh, yes, okay.
the
It's the
fermentation,
fermentation, yes.
which is approximately 8 to 72 hours is what makes it sourdough. So you're letting it.
Some people let it sit for 72 hours. That has got to be a
It gets
tangy
big?
loaf.
It's tangy. Okay.
Well, it also depends on if they're letting it sit for 3 days in the refrigerator, it's not going to be as tangy as if you let it sit for 3 days on
counter.
the counter.
Because it needs the heat. Part of it is is not heat, but like a good amount of temperature to incubate the organisms, right?
Right. So the fermentation process happens faster when it is warm and damp. And so like if you guys had it at the restaurant
Right.
for 72 hours,
Kind of like in your shoe
crazy
with your socks when you would go to the gym.
That is exactly what I think about when I'm making bread.
Yes.
So when you kick off your shoes from the gym and it stinks, that was
It's
like
very
the
fermented.
fermentation process. But now
Yeah.
here's my question, though.
It's a different kind of
I
bacteria.
could probably
though.
just look all this up on the internet, but I'm interested to hear your guys' take on this. So if you use yeast is a fungus, right? Isn't yeast a
No.
fungus, or is it a bacteria?
I don't know.
Okay, so
I
that's
think
good.
yeast is its own classification.
I think it's like a fungus.
It's not a fungus.
And I think it's when you use what is it, sourdough, that's bacteria, isn't it? It's the bacteria from the air and stuff that sits long enough.
So they call it
It's-
wild yeast
Right, okay.
with a sourdough starter. It's wild yeast and then it's lactic acid.
Okay.
that
I
are-
wish I had my phone, but I'm using it as a darn camera.
Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah, look up what's the difference between yeast or what is yeast? I swear it was a type of fungus. I'm probably wrong, but like for some reason I think of that.
Sourdough is like one of the oldest forms of bread.
Of leavening, right?
Bread making.
They didn't have a choice.
They didn't have refrigeration,
Right.
you know, back up until just recently. So
So it is a single-celled microorganism and a member of the fungi kingdom.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm 50.
that
I'm in my
doesn't mean
50s.
that doesn't mean anything.
I know, but like I'm pretty sure I knew that. But like now, sourdough is also. I'm not sure sourdough is still a fungus though. It seems like sourdough it would be a bacteria related.
Well, it's a culture.
Like yogurt.
Yeah,
Right,
you need
okay.
a culture or cheese
Which I
or
believe is
kombucha.
Okay, can you look that up? We need a fact checker right now.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I need to know these things.
So what are you asking? You want to
Like
know?
I'm wondering when you make sourdough, you're not using yeast. It's a natural whatever. Is it a bacteria that starts to do the fermentation process or is it a fungus? that
I'm
starts
gonna say it's
eating-
not a fungus.
I don't know.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I think it's a
speaking
bacteria,
of
but anyway, let's carry
kombucha,
on.
I'm glad that you brought that up because you have been making your own kombucha.
Oh my gosh, you're like
I-
a
exactly.
fermentation lady over here.
Oh, she's one with the
Have you made any
ancient
beer?
ways.
Wait. You guys are just.
She's right.
What was your question? Sourdough starter is a. You wanted to know if it was
Is
a
it a
bacteria?
bacteria
Okay.
or is it a fungus?
Oh my gosh.
Aren't you interested to know?
Not particularly.
You got to know so you know what to feed it.
Okay, so this says it is a culture of both yeasts, which is a type of fungus, and a bacteria.
Okay.
Yeah. Which ferment the carbohydrates in the flour, producing a
Right.
carbon dioxide
Exactly.
that makes the bread rise
Yeah.
and gives it its characteristic sour flavor. Thank you, Google AI.
Right. Okay. So it's both. Interesting. So
Yeah.
somehow the fungus and the bacteria. But you want to hear something different? That my understanding is that when they came up with antibiotics, it was they were culturing or they're doing something with like a bacteria, and there was an open window and some mold spores got on that
Yes, that's how they
culture thing.
discovered penicillin.
Yes. So somehow that is bacteria and fungus working together, but then fungus can kill bacteria. Anyway, that's just, I just find that very interesting.
What is he talking about,
I
Anna?
don't know.
Well, so this is
don't know.
interesting because I guess not all mold is bad for you. People are so scared about mold.
Well, yeah, cheese is mold, right?
I mean, some cheese is very moldy. We ate moldy cheese.
Ooh, that funky one that made my car smell weird.
Yes.
Yes, that was good.
That was
I
good.
ate
That
that
was
whole
not a
thing.
good smell.
I ate it with
He
pork
ate
rinds.
all the cheese that same day.
The good somebody needed to get rid of.
It was, I liked it. It was,
I'm glad it tasted good. It smelled terrible in my car.
Yeah, it made my eyes water.
I saw
In that
that
video, I was
I
like,
saw that.
oh gosh, I can't. It's like fumes.
You guys, I feel like you're mocking me because I like the science of it.
No, you're just
you're
derailing the conversation from where Caitlin was trying to go with it of
Right,
like
okay,
unpacking the homesteady things
Right.
that she wanted to talk about, and you're
Okay.
wanting to talk about sciencey things that none of us know anything
We're
about.
like, it's just all, we just know we make the sourdough.
Right. No, I like to know whether or not it's a fungus or a bacteria.
We can discuss it later.
Okay, I'll Google it. How's that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Google it.
Give it a
I'm
Google.
gonna grok it.
Goog.
I'm gonna use grok instead.
Give it a good goog. Okay, let's circle back to the kombucha because
Okay.
this is a new topic. So kombucha is basically vinegar, right?
Mhm.
It's fermented tea.
Okay, fermented tea,
Mm-hmm.
but it has a mother like vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how's that going for you?
It's good. I have been making it for, I didn't realize this till somebody else asked me the other day. I've been making it for about 4.5 years. Because I've been making it as long as we've been in our house. My mother-in-law had made some of it and gave me a mother. And so I started making it. And I feel like after this many years, I have finally figured out how to make it taste good, which is great. Real improvement. I started drinking it though because, well, I started making it because it's expensive to purchase.
Yeah.
And I started drinking it because I couldn't have dairy. And so I needed to help build my gut microbiome.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's a good source of natural probiotics.
Probiotics, yes.
Yes.
And they're actually alive. So,
Which is a bacteria.
to my knowledge, yeah.
I believe so.
See, it does. It comes in handy to know.
So, have you ever had kombucha?
I don't think I've ever had it. It probably sounds sour.
Yeah.
I don't really care for sour that much. I'm not a big sour flavor person.
I'm not either. And so what I do with mine lately is, so you put sweet tea, like southern sweet tea, in a jar with your SCOBY and some starter liquid, so some previous kombucha, and you let it ferment for a couple of weeks or however long, and then you pour it off, and that's when you flavor it. And what I've been doing is flavoring it with blackberry sauce, which was blackberry jam that was too runny.
Okay.
Is that when your fingers were all? No, that was the blueberries.
Yeah, the
Oh.
blueberries dyed my fingers.
Yeah.
My in-laws have some potent blueberries.
You're
So
derailing the conversation.
yeah,
Caitlin.
now I am. But then after the kombucha is flavored, so about a week of sitting on the counter with the blackberry sauce in it, I will add it to seltzer water and a little bit of juice, and it's like a mixed drink, and it tastes great. It's
Oh.
not super sour or
Gotcha.
funky. Yeah.
What is SCOBY?
You're gonna have to Google it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's an acronym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
But is that? It's not the mother though.
Yeah, that is the
okay,
mother.
That's
Yeah.
the mother.
It's
Mother's name is
it's a
Scooby.
disc of like colony of bacteria, but it's a spongy disc.
Mm.
It feels real weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, it feels like an eyeball or something.
When you're
How do you
pouring
know what
out
an eyeball
vinegar-
feels like?
Because I wear contacts.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. When I'm pouring out the vinegar sometimes, when I'm making the sauce for
Uh-huh.
Dinky Doos, a lot of that kind of goes in there. And I have to like fish it out.
Yeah.
The mother, but it's not bad for you.
Mm.
No, it's just weird.
Jelly,
It
yeah.
it doesn't look
Good.
appetizing. And I'm
Yeah.
afraid someone's going to eat the sauce and they're going to have this like snotty long thing and they'll be like, here's sauce.
Yeah,
Something's wrong with it.
Right. Yeah, I always take that out
yeah.
of the
That's-
sauce when I'm making it.
well, I don't eat the SCOBY. You just need it to continue the fermentation process.
There's a bug on your shirt. There's a bug on your shirt.
It's one of those things.
Baby bugs.
It's a beetle. People
Ladybug?
think it's a
Ladybug?
ladybug, but it's not. Ends up being one of those evasive Japanese things.
Evasive or invasive?
It's when
Is
I
it
try
both?
to hit it,
Or is it
It
elusive?
gets evasive action.
Evasive.
try to hit it.
maneuvers.
Evasive maneuver.
You probably deal with a lot of critters and bugs out in the country on your homestead.
Yeah. I don't feel like our house has more bugs in them than the average person, but our property has a lot of bugs and stuff.
You don't use pesticides when you garden and stuff, right?
Not in the garden. We've had our house sprayed for ants a couple of times.
Oh,
Yeah, because
But
it's an older home and ants get in sometimes.
of
Right.
course.
Yeah,
The ants are annoying.
they're so aggravating.
They go marching in
It's
everywhere.
Kind of like, it's kind of like a southern thing though. There were not nearly as many ants up north. I don't
couldn't
remember
recall.
anybody's house having ants like they do in the South.
Hmm.
Must be the soil. I bet it has to do with the soil.
Yeah. So soil is an interesting topic because one of your gardens is like an all mulch garden, right?
All of them are. Yeah.
Oh, all of them.
Yeah.
Even that one with the
Mhm.
walkway?
The strips. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mulch. She doesn't like till the soil and like she just put mulch down.
Okay.
It is it's sort of like the back to Eden gardening method. There's a lot of information about it. But it is supposed to be beneficial for the soil because you're not tilling the soil, so you're not disturbing the microbiome of the soil. You are not reintroducing weed seeds into the dirt. Because when you till it, all of the weed seeds that have landed on top, you are now putting
underneath.
Yes.
You're basically
planting them.
In a way, yes. And then you're also not losing topsoil because when you till, there is a problem with topsoil being removed. And the topsoil is the fertile stuff. That's where leaves have fallen and decomposed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where all of the good stuff that you want, which is really beneficial to your plants, it washes away if you disturb the soil.
Okay.
And so with mulch gardening, the mulch is gradually decomposing and contributing to the health of the soil. It's keeping the ground insulated so the soil temperature is more consistent. Which, so for us, like when we garden, our plants that normally, they call it bolting in gardening, where the plants get really hot and go to seed.
Yeah.
And some plants like cilantro is a cool weather plant. It does not like being hot. And so we've noticed that I can grow cilantro much longer into the summer, even here in North Carolina where it is hot as Hades, because we mulch garden. And so the roots of the plant are staying cooler because the mulch is insulating them.
Your phone just died. I could be wrong.
Yes.
We can continue on.
You'll just have my audio.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
just saw
that's a
it turn
bummer.
off.
Do you want to switch it out for mine?
Nah, we'll just carry on.
Okay.
It's fine. So we're getting into spring and summer. You're going to be planting seeds soon.
Hopefully.
And what are you planting?
So we're not doing a ton of new stuff this year. I've got a couple new herbs that I'm growing. I want to make my own Italian seasoning, and so I'm growing savory for the first time, or I'm going to try. And I'm growing St. John's wort, which is supposed to be really beneficial for inflammation. I haven't ever grown that before, so hopefully that will go well. And then we typically grow sweet potatoes, peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, green beans, okra, corn. We'll grow cantaloupe.
Why do you keep saying you're not homesteading?
I
Like
know.
like all of what you're saying, people are like, yes, this person does homesteading, which is fine. It's not a dig.
It's
It's very good.
I don't think it's bad. I just don't feel like I'm as invested as some of the homesteading
fine.
people.
I'm really impressed.
Well,
that is a lot of
It's
good
very
stuff.
Anna is a very impressive person.
I mean, I worked with her for a while. I already knew that.
Good. She's
Thank
my
you.
friend. I already knew that.
Guys. Then the thing that I think allows us to do all of that is the mulch gardening, though, because we don't have to water stuff as often. Like we only had to water maybe 6 times last summer, which in North
Wow.
Carolina is very seldom.
Right.
Because the mulch keeps that ground insulated and you're not having as much water evaporate.
Yep.
Yeah, and so the plants are healthier. We're not having to weed as much because the mulch is a weed suppressant. And when you do have a mulch garden, the soil stays softer, and so weeding is easier.
She just walked through
It
and
seems
pull it
like
up
it's
real
an easier way to do it.
Yes, you have.
But when in my lifetime, I've only ever heard of people, and it could be a regional thing, I'm not sure, but like when they're going to do a garden, they literally go rent a tiller, they till up the whole thing, get all the rocks out, and then they start spreading the stuff around. It seems like it would be easier to do just the mulch gardening, but maybe it could have to do with the soil. I don't know. Like up north where we came from, I mean, is like
the
good.
soil
The
is much
amazing.
softer.
It's amazing.
It's really
black.
rich.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not downing I mean, there's lots of people who till garden, and I think for the scale that they do things,
It makes more sense.
Maybe there's
Yes.
not enough mulch to
Well,
cover it.
There's lots of different types of mulch. For us, we feel like it is very efficient to mulch garden, and I don't think we could do things, because you've been to my house. We have a lot, for us, for the 3 acres that we own, we have a lot of coverage in gardens and mulch.
Yeah.
And so that takes some time and effort to procure the mulch and spread the mulch, and you really want like 3 to 4 inches of mulch every year on the garden, which is a lot.
Yeah, that is.
So, but that is much less day-to-day investment at a less busy time in our lives for us seasonally than pulling weeds and watering all summer.
Yeah.
And our plants
That
produce
sounds like a
very
hassle.
well because they are happy and they're hydrated and they're not stressed.
Yeah.
So I think our plants produce better or more than some people
The
who
usual.
do till gardening around here. Like our green beans will produce all summer, and a lot of people, their green beans die out around June or July.
Your green beans were so good.
I'm glad.
They put a little butter and salt on them, and they were fantastic.
Love it.
We shared some green beans with Katie because I still have 35 quarts of green beans in my basement.
Wow,
Her
from canning?
her canning shelves
Okay.
are just beautiful.
Yeah, they're
Can we go back to the sweet potato thing? Because
Yeah.
I would really love to talk about the weird shapes you find that sweet potatoes come in when you
Okay.
when you garden, when you pull them out.
Right. I
I'm
hope
gonna-
we have a photo of that.
We do.
I'm pretty sure we do.
I
We'll
do.
have to.
And if I don't, Anna does for sure. That's not one you're ever going to
you
get rid
guys
of.
I
are
heard that was
talking
your
about my
favorite one.
pornographic potato.
I know.
It's
Oh.
quite interesting looking.
Pornographic potato. Sounds like a weird cartoon.
So most of our sweet potatoes just looked were very large. Our sweet potatoes, we had like
You
3
had some
pound
big
sweet
honkers.
potatoes. Yeah. And
Dang.
we had some that kind of looked like organs, like they were all connected and big and kind of looked like a stomach and small intestine, and then we had one that was phallic in nature. Yeah.
Okay.
Not just phallic in nature. It was.
Yeah, and it came out of the ground like that, and I was shocked.
Did you throw it?
No, I just was in shock.
You just grabbed it.
Well, I didn't know it was that shape when I pulled it out of the ground.
We're gonna put that up on the screen.
Definitely.
We'll have to change the rating for your podcast.
Yeah, this one
It's
is
always
rated-
not for kids anyway.
It looks like a dick pic when I show
Yes,
it.
Oh,
straight
okay.
up.
You
yes.
haven't seen it.
I have seen it.
No,
Oh.
I have a video. on
Okay.
my
She showed
phone
me
that I
right
showed-
away.
I showed you. I showed Mom. I sent it to the siblings chat.
It has been a real conversation piece for sure.
Did you end up eating it?
No, we had some friends who are medical professionals who displayed it with their winter gourds in their home
Okay.
for fall decor.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're funny people. I like them.
They
Yes.
are very funny people.
Because that's something you would do for sure.
Yeah.
It's a good conversation piece.
Yes, that's how they used it.
Look at our gourds.
Yeah.
Whoa, what is that?
Yeah.
Yes.
funny.
So, and sweet potatoes, I had some of those as well. We made French fries, sweet potato fries. The girls ate them up.
Well, and they're so beautiful to grow. Sweet potatoes have these beautiful green and purple heart-shaped leaves, and they have these beautiful like pink purple trumpet flowers. So I think
Interesting.
they're
I didn't know
super
that.
fun to grow.
Cool. Ba-ba-ba-da,
Gotta get up.
That's the horror sounds of
Yeah.
my youth.
It was my youth too.
Terrible. I'm never doing that to my children.
You should.
I'm not gonna.
I when we're talking about what we do to our children and having Anna here, it makes me think about what I asked Bill.
I don't know where this is going.
Did we already talk about this?
No, this is
New information.
Would the Miller family have done this in their household?
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. And we said we would talk about it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Anna, when you were growing up, you had siblings.
Well, I had Charlie.
Right.
And then a little bit later on, you had
Some
other
more.
siblings.
Yes.
Did anyone ever come into the bathroom while you were showering and pour a cup of cold water on you?
No, but when we lived in our John Lewis house, because I grew up in Haw River for the first like 11 or 12 years, my parents kept a squirt gun in the refrigerator. And if we did not get up when they wanted us to, they would come and attack us with the squirt gun with
Joel's
refrigerated water.
Keith did that to Joel and Justin too.
Nice.
No, I don't remember my parents ever doing that.
So the reason that Caitlin and I were talking about this was because we wondered that whether or not other families did that.
Yeah. For some reason I brought it up and we were talking about it and he was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. And then he was like, somehow you brought up Bill and I was like, I guarantee you nobody in the Miller family has ever done that.
I didn't bring up Bill. You just straight up was like,
oh yeah,
the
you were
Miller
like,
family
I was
would
like,
never
no,
have done
I
that.
think that we're like probably in the minority. And I was like, yeah, okay.
But then we asked Madison the same thing, like, hey, have you ever, like, yeah, we did that all the time.
Well, and like,
I think that's a great gag.
there were some prank things that went on, but like we weren't even allowed to say "but" growing up, and so,
but
no, couldn't say fart, couldn't say "but," so like.
What
fart
about
is my
poo?
favorite word.
Could you say poo?
Yeah, but we couldn't talk about it at the table. You
Right.
could not talk about bodily functions at the table.
Right, okay. Like breathing and stuff.
Well,
Stop
like,
breathing.
like
Don't sneeze.
Stop
boogers
blinking.
and bathroom things.
Right.
Yeah.
All
The
my
gutter
favorite
talk.
things.
The
Yeah.
gutter talk. Yeah,
Sure.
my mom was the same way. Oh, stop it.
She still is
She's
that
still
way.
doing that, I know.
Well, and now you can talk about whatever you want.
right.
But
But
when
I
was a
texted your dad.
child,
I was
yeah.
like, does this ever happen? You're in
In
the
your
shower and then all of a sudden someone pours a bucket of cold water on you? And he's like, not in the family, but he did in college or whatever they did.
Yeah, he told a story
But
about college.
I don't know what we were talking about, but like somehow you thought
I
that
just-
we were the only family that
I
did
was like,
that?
this kid- well, we have to be alone in this.
Well, I thought we were the only family whose mom made a birthday cake for Jesus for Christmas, and we're not. There's other families who do that.
That is weird.
I agree.
I mean, I love birthday cakes and I would go and love
Nope.
that, but
And
Any
we would sing
excuse-
"Happy Birthday" to Jesus.
you know
Happy
how cringe that
birthday,
is.
dear Jesus.
That is so cringe.
I never thought it was weird until I got married, and now, like, the older I get, the
You're
weirder.
like, where's the birthday cake?
Well,
for
because
Jesus?
I just grew up with that. Like, that was normal, and that was my mom's
so
way of
funny.
making sure we recognize that we are celebrating like Jesus's birthday. That is why we have Christmas. It's not all the
'Cause
other
if you
things.
didn't have the cake,
Right,
It's not
you
a
wouldn't
birthday.
know.
how did you know how many candles to put
Jesus
on?
was not really born in December.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Technically,
They do
per
think
the
it is
Roman
in-
calendar.
Right. They do think was around the December time, but anyway. Has to
Yeah,
do
that
with
is
our-
a unique. That's a unique thing.
Yeah.
How old were you when you guys adopted?
I think it was
kids.
18. It was a month before I went to
Right.
college.
Okay. So you were out of the house. I
Gone.
think I remember we
Yeah,
talked
but-
about that.
My parents were foster parents for several years before that. So we had some other kids in and out of the house.
Did you ever pour cold water on them while they were in the shower?
No.
That's one of my most funniest favorite gags. It's so
Shocking?
malign. It's not. It's
harmless, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty harmless.
Yeah.
I think there's worse things that could be thrown
Right.
at you.
Absolutely.
Right. Like maybe hot lava.
Where are you gonna get hot lava, and how are you gonna get into a bucket?
You mine down, way down underneath, and you get your bucket and you pull up the lava.
You have like 2.5 seconds to do it before your arms burned off.
Right, that's true. You can't fall in the lava because you lose all of your
I don't
stuff.
think the bucket would contain the lava.
It's
talking about-
a lava rock bucket.
There's a lot of
We're
variables.
talking about Minecraft here.
Okay. So like this conversation
No, that's
has
for that's for when
really
Charlie
deep.
Oh
Right.
yeah. When we talk to Charlie, we'll talk about.
Oh, are you
Minecraft.
going to interview him?
He would.
He
never
hasn't
come
agreed.
on, yeah.
He might.
Maybe.
No,
Did he say no?
I think you already asked him.
I mean, I ask him all the time.
He did
I'm trying to be
say-
friends with him.
I did ask him, and he was like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have Anna, and then I said, your dad's gonna be on too, and he was like, oh, he'd be a great person to have on the podcast. I thought that was sweet.
Yeah. I love my brother.
Oh, you were all homeschooled, right?
Me and Charlie, yeah. For
So
a while.
The other kids weren't?
Temporarily, yeah. Mom kind of tried to do whatever was best for each of the kids. So like Charlie and I were homeschooled from starting in 2nd grade through 6th grade. And then we both went to Clover Garden Charter School. And then he continued for the rest of high school there in 7th grade. And I, after 9th grade, was like, I want to go back. So I was homeschooled. And then Mom homeschooled the other kids kind of on and
Somebody
off, depending on what they
just
needed.
Died. Mine.
Oh,
my gosh.
this
So
is
it's
hilarious.
just me now?
It's just
Yeah.
you.
Well, I guess we'll wrap it. We're close to time anyway.
Yeah.
So, that's cool though that your parents tailored it. I just got stuck in public school and got called fatso and
Well, welcome to the club.
cried because I didn't get the lead part in the musical.
Oh no. Well, at least your name didn't rhyme with fat.
Fat
Right,
Nat.
because that never happened to anybody who was homeschooled.
Right.
You got the lead part in the musical?
No,
Oh.
but we had theater stuff. We weren't. You're not just stuck at home.
I know.
How did my phone die too? Everybody's
know.
phone's dead.
So we're gonna wrap it up.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Next time, what are we going to talk about next time? Do we know?
Next time, we are
Are we
gonna.
going to talk about tea?
I think we're gonna talk about tea.
Okay.
And thank you, Anna, for joining us and dealing with our shenanigans. You have a beautiful home and you make the most awesome things.
Yes.
And
Thank
you
you.
are doing
That's
a good
very
job with your
kind.
homesteading.
yes.
You might as well just accept it. You're a homesteader.
It's a
fine.
humble homestead.
Yes,
Well,
it's so good. Thank you for
thank you.
the bread and the cowboy candy, which was very delicious. We'll put up those recipes on in the
On
description
the socials.
so
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
can look at that.
Sounds great.
All right, y'all.
So you get to sign off because you're the only one
Oh.
with the camera. in
Well,
this.
Thanks for having me, and I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.